Hi, my name is Brendan Lowe, creator and founder of Jazz Piano School, and in this lesson I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to transform, move, and shift extensions and colors that you use in your voicings in order to achieve a rich, lush, modern jazz piano sound that we hear filled with all those complicated inner voicing movements. Now, it's also going to allow you to achieve a Bill Evans-esque atmosphere in your playing, because we all know he loved to use those inner voicing movements as well. Now, here at Jazz Piano School, we've taught thousands of successful students how to achieve jazz piano freedom and freely express themselves through the music using methods exactly like the one you're about to learn. So with that being said, let's dive right into this lesson.
All right, so what we're going to be doing, and what Bill Evans did a lot, was change the extensions on his voicing. So for example, if I have a G7, right? And let's say I'm voicing my G7 chord with one of the amazing, left-hand setups that Bill would like to use, and again is also in one of our mini courses called the two-hand voicing building system. We're going to use 1 and 7 and then 3 in our right hand. Okay, that's just one of the setups, and again, you can go to Jazz Piano School to check that out, one of our mini courses. But if I add, let's say, a regular rootless voicing, so many people are familiar with structure A and B or 1 and 2, whatever you call them, right? I'm going to create a sound like this. Okay, very beautiful, beautiful sound. But when we're playing tunes, or if I'm playing, through a 2-5-1, and I do this, right? That's just one set of extensions. Knock to knock against these extensions. That's one set of extensions on all of the chords. But what if, right? What if we changed the extensions on the chord, like shifted them? And first of all, this sound right here, I just want to let you guys know again, because this was another big thing that came up when we just released the Bill Evans course. It came up. These natural extensions you have on here, the natural 13 and the natural 9, they produce a very, sorry, the ice cream truck is going by. They produce a very, very neutral sound in a playing, right? So example, this, right? And then it's a very, very kind of neutral sound. You're not getting out of that modern jazz sound that I think a lot of people are looking for, actually. So that's just one other side point. But let's go ahead and change these extensions around, okay? So we're just going to do it on our dominant chord for now. You can do this in other areas, your minor chord, your major chord. But for now, that's all I want you to work on. Then you can start to incorporate into your other areas of chords, right? So if I go from here to here, now, I can move my extensions. I can move my extensions on my chord. So here's my 13. I can move that to flat 13 and then resolve that to my major voicing I just used. Right, so this is what it's going to sound like. Now already you can start to hear inner voice movement, which is absolutely fantastic. And I think so many people, when they hear Bill Evans play, you hear all these different movements in inner voicings happening. Brad Meldau, Keith Jarrett. This is what's happening within the chord structure. Beautiful, beautiful harmonic movements. They're changing the harmonic texture and colors with the extensions change, right? Now, we can, oh man, I'm not phrasing this right. We don't just have to change one, we can change both extensions. So we can change the 13 and the 9, right? So before I was just changing the 13 down to flat 13, right? What if I did both? I can do both at the same time. Right? Isn't that just absolutely incredible? It's just, I don't know, I just love it. Right now you get this real kind of Bill Evans-esque sound. And this was, one of the components that's actually in the course and I loved, and I picked it out to add to this podcast. So, and again, we could do a drop 2 up here and then another drop 2. And then with the resolution of the extensions into another drop 2. And obviously, Bill Evans is very, very well known for his drop 2s. So again, I could play bass note, resolution. So you hear the movement of the extensions, what creates that inner voicing, and it's like, oh, that's what you have to add into your playing to get that more modern sound. Obviously, add more extensions that do not contain natural colors, natural 13, natural 9. You need the flats, you need the sharps, right? Flat 13, sharp 9, flat 9, right? You need those. Now, let's say I play a chord like this on my G7. Now, all this is I've moved my 9 to the 1 on top, and I have my flat 13 here instead of natural 13, right? So I have my regular voicing here, okay? Going to this. that's perfectly great too. That's a great way to voice lead into, right? If you're comping or something, or, you know, harmonizing a tune through this. But what we can do here is, again, we can change the notes. It doesn't have to be extensions either, right? If I have this 1 on top, I can move this to the flat 9 and then as well take this flat 13 and move it to the natural 13. So instead of this, I'm going to shift it to this. Right? Now, outside of the harmonies, it's kind of like, well, that sounds a little bit weird, Brendan, right? How is that going to work, right? But check this out, okay? Right? It creates an amazing movement of harmonies. And again, you can also flip-flop the other way. Let's say I did have a 9 on top, and I'll keep my flat 13 here in the middle. You know, I can flip-flop these extensions. So I might move the natural 9 to a flat 9 and the flat 13 to a natural 13. So it's going to be this. Right? Okay, and I can do vice versa. Let's say I started with this. So I have this, right? I can flip-flop these. I can do flat 9 to natural 9, regular 13 to flat 13. So I can go. That's a really nice one as well. Right? These beautiful movements of extensions that can shift back and forth. Now, we can also add extensions after we voice something. So let's say I do this. I can actually add in the sharp 11 if I want, and then resolve it. Or I can add it in as a full voicing again. So I can go, or just single notes, whatever you want. But again, the point of the podcast lesson here is that shift your extensions around on that one chord. The entire time, when I was learning, I would just play one chord. I would just play one set of extensions all the time. And then finally, I started doing this. I don't even know how it happened, but obviously I did. I didn't really know what I was doing until I studied that in-depth analysis on Bill Evans, shifting all these different types of extension around. Now, what I did there was an extra step. I took an extra step and combined a sus, right? A suspended 4 chord, right? For the G sus. I made it a G sus first, then resolved to one set of dominant extensions, and then changed to a different set of dominant extensions, right? Check it out. So D minor, D sus, then I'm going to resolve to the dominant with one set of extensions, and then change my set of extensions, and then resolve. Right, so by combining these different types of reharms with the sus, these reharm tools, right? I like to call them. Sus tool is one. Shifting extensions is a new reharm tool. Obviously, your tritone's a tool. You can start to do that. Again, if we make a tritone out of this, I can go into a D flat and then shift these extensions, right? So I might shift into a flat 9 here, maybe a flat 13, and then resolve it. So I can go D minor, I can go G, D, shift my extensions, right? So all these different types of ways, right, we can shift our extensions around and then combine these reharm tools. And like the same principle I was using before, I can go into a sus, resolve, right? And then maybe I stay into like kind of that sus feeling, create a sus over my D flat here, right? So I create a D flat sus, resolve that into a flat 9, and then down. Now that's getting obviously a lot. It's getting very complicated, but the whole point of this podcast is to shift your extensions around so you're creating that nice inner voicing movement. I haven't even talked about the left hand. That's going to give you that real modern sound. And again, Bill did this all the time. And once you start to kind of add this style and texture into your playing, it's going to absolutely just transform your playing and make it sound wonderful. So with that being said, thanks so much for listening. This was a podcast. Go to jazzpianoschool.com/podcast 128 to get the practice materials to practice shifting your extensions around. And I will see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Now, if you're wondering how to implement or practice this strategy I've just shown you, go to jazzpianoschool.com/podcast 128 or click the link below to get the set of free practice exercises that will precisely show you how and what to practice in order to implement the strategy I've just shown you into your playing today. Now, if you're new to our channel, go ahead and click subscribe down below because we release a free lesson every single Wednesday. Now, by doing that, you're also going to get access to our free lick of the week that we release every single Monday. Go ahead and leave any questions, comments, and concerns down in the box below. And I'm always on the lookout for new Bill Evans albums. So if you have any fun Bill Evans albums that you're aware of or you love, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. With that being said, have a fantastic day. And as always, happy practicing.